and today we got to play End of Trail. So this was another Gen Con find. I was eyeing Atlantis, and I saw this, and I figured I'd pick it up for the Western series.
Age of Atlantis, right?
Something about Atlantis. You'll find out soon enough when we play it, because we're on a mission to play all of our Gen Con all before we can play anything else in our collection.
That's not going to happen.
I am going to give
Halloween
it a good go.
Halloween is coming. It's not going to happen.
Well, I suggest we start playing games quickly. Anyway, so before we get into this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because you want to see board games, and that's what we do here. We might be doing some role-playing, maybe. We're thinking about it. We're doing some stuff.
I thought we were already doing role-playing. We're playing cowboy hats.
Well, true that. More role-playing for certain people than other people. But, yeah. So tell us about this game, because this is definitely from Elf Creek.
Yes. It's
the lady at the booth was super awesome. But yeah, continue.
All right. This was released in 2018.
Uh-huh.
It has a Board Game Geek rank of 7,887.
Uh-huh.
It's got a rating of 7.0.
Okay.
It was designed by Mike Henson.
Okay.
Art by Royce Banuelos and Peter Walken. Published, as you mentioned, by Elf Creek Games. It's a 1 to 4 player game, average length of 20 to 40 minutes.
That's about right.
Yeah. Age of 10 and up, probably also about right.
Mm-hmm.
Since you have to know poker. And I couldn't find it with an MSRP, but it looks like it's on the geek market for $30 for the deluxe version. This is actually kind of not the deluxe. It's sort of a deluxe because it's the Kickstarter version. Right. But it doesn't have the deluxe pieces. So somewhere there was a missing translation because we ended up missing some of the pieces, which I know we wouldn't normally do.
Yeah. Yeah. I know for all of it, for Atlantis and for this, I paid $140. So I don't know how much is what and how much is the other. Maybe it was $160. I don't remember.
Oh, that's pricey.
Yeah. So for both of them, I don't know, because Atlantis.
The only thing that seems to be with this one that we've got that's deluxe is the fact that it's got the Kickstarter box sleeve, which I don't know. This is probably the most impractical Kickstarter add-on I've ever seen. That you just have wheels that you can add to the exterior of your box cover. So storing it would become a problem because it's not going to lay flat when you do that.
But it looks cool.
Yeah, it would look cool, but what's the difference in that and actually having the wagon with the wheels not there, or just printed? I mean, it's not practical. I would never put them on there.
Yeah, well, obviously we're not going to. So, yeah, let's talk about quality of pieces. So you have screen printed player workers. They're little miners. They're super cute. And you've got very basic tents. The cardboard tiles are pretty thick. I mean, they're okay. Card quality.
It's not great. It's
okay.
They're, decent thickness, but there's no linen finish.
Yeah, but they've got some nice thin to them. I don't think they're going to tear up horribly easily. They also have this poker chip for the first player poker chip.
That's for the dealer poker chip.
Also known as the first player.
No, that first player is not that.
Okay. Whatever. There's poker chip for a person who doesn't get the hand out of the rounds. Whatever that means. Overall quality of pieces, I can't give this more than a 5, guys. I mean, it's pretty basic.
I don't know if I go 5. I mean, the tiles have a nice. I mean, granted, it's more thematic as far as the sheen that's on them, but they are thick. They're really good thickness. The cards are decent. They're not great, but they're decent. They do have screen printing on the figure, which is better than what you're going to get with Catan. I guess you're kind of twisting my arm over here. What are you going to give it then? I'll probably give it a 6.
I think I'd agree. I think the pieces, the uniqueness of the pieces is a little bit more. I especially like that they have not just your standard colors, but you have like a lime green instead of a regular green, and you have a burnt orange instead of another like orange.
A dusty purple.
A dusty purple. I mean,
at least they had purple,
yeah.
So I'll take what I can get. Yeah, I mean, thinking about it now, I guess you guys are probably right with the 6. I'll change my number. So let's talk about theme. So basically, the theme is you're a miner and you're trying to find the gold. So with some poker mechanics, you are searching along the board to find the most gold points or gold nuggets, and those are considered victory points at the end of the game. Theme wise, it's got poker.
It's got gold mining and it's got poker, so it's got those elements of Western. Not a lot of Western, but
there is a little bit.
Very gold rushy, right?
Yeah, very gold rushy. Art wise, I mean,
very cartoony and basic. It's simplistic.
I'm not a big fan of this. I'm really not a fan of the color palette for the boards nor the actual art. I don't know.
I like it. I think the earthiness of it, it feels very,
I like the color scheme. The one thing that bothers me is the numbers, because the numbers on the gold nuggets look westerny, but then when you go to the numbers on the first, second, third, they didn't keep that same numbering.
It's some distressed numbers.
Font, it's more like pirates because you're on the ocean.
Yeah, why? I don't know why they didn't go with the same number scheme across all of it.
Right.
The cards I like. They look more like a wanted poster.
The cards I did like.
color.
I was okay with the cards. I just didn't like the tiles. I wasn't a huge fan of the tiles.
I like the tiles. I like the illustrated look of them. It's just, basic, simple illustrated look. Sometimes you don't always have to be flashy, I think, with your art, but as long as your art gives the idea of what these things are, and it's easy to read. I think that, and it's not like terribly boring.
Yeah, and I do like that they took the time and effort to put on there the lettering is stands out. You can see it, the sheen on it.
Yeah, that's true.
They did do a good job of making sure you can read the lettering.
So what would you guys score it then?
I'm probably going to give it a 6.5 on theme. It's not got a lot of story. I mean, it's just the gold rush and we threw some poker in because it's westerny. It doesn't play into the mechanics real heavily. I do like how they use the cards in multiple ways. I thought that was clever, but there's not a lot of Western feel for this. It isn't something that exudes Western like a Western Legends, obviously, but a lot of other than Westerns we've played. This one doesn't have a huge Western feel.
Yeah, I would probably go with maybe a 6.5. I think the mules and the horses and the oxen kind of help a little bit, but I wish that the mules actually, so not to get into too much gameplay, I wish that the mules would actually give you a little bit, allow you to go to certain places. I mean, it does. It opens more doors, but it doesn't you're not as limit.
It doesn't limit your
type
doors.
of tiles that you go to. So
yeah, for me, I'm just gonna agree for 6.5. I mean, sure, why not?
You don't have to. You can say what you want.
Well, I know. It's just I just didn't care for the art. I don't know why I ended up picking this up. I think I literally picked it up on the outside cover alone, which I appreciate more than the rest of this game.
I just increased my respect for you a few points. Now you're thinking like me at Gen Con.
I saw this, and here's the thing. I was enamored by Atlantis, and I saw this, and I was like, hey, why not? I'll just pick it up. Like I said, the lady was really nice. And
so that's really what it is. The lady was nice. So you just need a good salesperson, and you're going to buy it.
What's that thing is we weren't even talking about games. We're talking about living our best lives, and of course with board games, why not? I picked it up.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it I'll keep with a 6.5 because she was nice.
Wow. Okay.
I probably should be a 6, but
all right. Let's talk about the rule book.
I don't know how about it?
It's
Because you were talking and I totally zoned out.
I didn't read the rule book to you. I explained the rules because it was 24 pages long. There was a lot of reiteration of some of the detail. So they started out with the setup, and the setup was fine. It went through and explained how to lay out the tableau for the board, which depends on the number of players, how many columns. There's always 4 rows, but there'll be up to 4 columns, depending on number of players. And, and it's got nice examples for how to do all of that. Then it goes into how to find your gold, which is basically the prospecting section. And it goes through a detail on that. Then it goes into the round overview where it goes back and says supply actions, prospecting, gambling, and it reiterates the prospecting section again. So I was like, okay, you basically put the same thing in here twice.
Well, they just wanted to make sure you understood. I mean, why not? Give it a little extra punch.
Yeah,
go back and see prospecting.
Yeah. So it just felt like overkill a little bit. So I mean, it was like, didn't I already read this several times?
You did,
in the
like
book?
4 times.
Yeah. So it's not that complex of a game, but the rule book would make it look more complex because I don't think it really needed 24 pages.
That astounds me. 24 pages. I can't imagine. Like that was a lot of words.
And then, then the back section is the 19 to the end is the solo play. So there's a solo play variant. So it's really 18 pages of this game, but it's still not 18 pages worth of content for this game.
Yeah.
So, I personally think the book's okay. It's not great. I'll give it a 7. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's a little redundant, that's all.
Okay, cool. So let's actually talk about gameplay. So gameplay ends up you start with a hand of 5 cards.
6 cards.
6. Yeah, what you said. All right, and so everyone has the 6 cards, but then there are 2.
First thing you do is bury one of those cards. So one of the cards goes into your poker hand right away.
Ooh, I love my hand, guys. I think I'll save this one.
That's because that was my hand.
Yeah. So
had a royal flush there,
you
guys.
have 6 cards. You got 4
So you put one automatically down, and then...
There. Now you got 5 cards.
Yeah, but I don't want to give any of these up. All right, so then the dealer deals out 2 hands of 3.
Well, no, it depends on player count.
Okay, well...
One less hand than the number of players.
Yeah, okay, well, we're 3 players. There it is. All right, and so then you would bid on the hand. So, I didn't... Yeah, so
each card has a monetary value on it, and you can play as many cards as you want to pay the bill for whatever set you're collecting. So you're collecting them for 2 purposes, 1 to play poker and 1 to play actions to claim your gold areas on the board.
Yeah, so basically the bidding goes around, it continues until everyone passes, and then you do 1 hand at a time. And the dealer gets to decide which hand goes first, and then the second hand. So those get taken in, and then you have to at least play 2 cards. So you can play 2 or 3 cards, which you do. Then you put them face down. Everyone picks the 3 set that they're going to do. They flip them over. And in your playthrough, you're going to say, okay, well, I'm going to use this card over here first. So this is a horse card. So I'm going to go exploring over to this area. We actually have these flipped over. They're not supposed to be flipped over. You're not supposed to see what they are. You go over there and be like, hey, look, this is a 4. This is kind of nice. But you know what? I'm going to try for something better. So
that would be if there was no building there.
Well, whatever. And so I'm going to be like, well, on second thought, I'm going to try something different. So then I'm going to use this card. This card says choose a tent if its owner moves it to an adjacent unclaimed tile. Hey, move your tent. Because I said so.
It's adjacent claim tile. You'd have to go here.
Whatever. I don't care.
So these are hidden. You would look at it, see what it is. Now, if it's lower, in this case it is, you have to stake your claim. You have no choice. You cannot go on. If it was equal or higher, you could continue to press your luck and try to see if you could find something better.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of leads you to look for the lower stuff first. Like, okay, I'm going to go to the foothills first before I end up going somewhere else.
Well, but then you risk somebody else getting
going to the
right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a kind of a balancing act of risk there.
Which I like that. I like the fact that you had. You have the poker you're trying to build up to at the end, which is nice. It gives you a nice perk at the end, but you also have to gamble with the fact that you might be losing a really good space to someone else if you do that.
So in essence, so out of the 3 cards that you played, you only can keep up to 2 of them. Now, if you were to only play 2, well, and honestly, it depends how many actually get 3 clues. So if I played my first one and I found 6 gold. And I decided I'm going to keep that one, obviously, and I tagged that. Because I didn't play these other 2 cards or use them to explore, I don't get the option to put them back into my poker hand. So those end up going into the discard pile. So So typically, I might go to a 6 and you're losing maybe a card that you wanted for your poker hand. So that's kind of risky there. So kind of just keeping that in mind. Um, and then everyone does that until the how many rounds?
Everybody does it until they've claimed a location, and then once you've done it, you play 3 rounds in the game of picking locations with your tiles and going through the auctions in between.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're going to play your best poker hand out of the cards you've got in your poker pool. So it's straight poker. There's no wilds. There are 2 jokers in the deck, but you don't treat them as wild. Matter of fact, there was a paragraph in the rules specifying they play tested it, and they found it was too powerful to have jokers be wilds, and they recommended not doing that. So the jokers are there specifically to let you draw through the discard pile to replace a card either in your hand, or if you started the game by putting it in your discard pile or into your card pile as your first card, you can play it from there. Which is probably what I should have done in hindsight, because I had it from the very beginning. I should have put the Joker into my card pile and played the rest of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's essentially it. And then at the end of the game, you flip over all the tiles, figure out how many victory points you have, plus establishing who has the better poker hand. If you do win the poker hand, you do get to place another tent action. So kind of keeping that in mind. So if you've already
before the tiles are flipped.
Before the tiles are flipped, so you may end up saying, "Oh, I remember that one's a 3. That's pretty good," or "That's a 0. Definitely don't want that one." So
I think the tiles range 1 to 6. So I don't.
Well, I was just randomly pulling a number out. So that's pretty much the end of the game. So aspects of the game I kind of liked. I kind of don't really care for this game. I'm searching for something positive to say, and. So, Randy, what do you think about the game?
Well, first of all, I like poker. So any game that has a poker element is already going to get my attention. I liked the press your luck aspect of this. I didn't think it was bad at all. It's very light, but it works, I think. I love the multi-purpose cards. I think that was really a cool idea, to give them an action, to give them special perks on some of them, to use them as money. It was a neat system. I really didn't have any problem with the way this played. It's not meaty at all. It's very light.
Yeah.
But if you just need a filler game, I think it's a good filler.
I think I agree with you. So here's the thing. It's not a bad game. It's functional. It works. There's nothing, it does work. And it is a good filler game. It is light. You can get it definitely in 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. No problem. Yeah. If you enjoy poker, I could see you kind of liking this. It's a little bit... there's some strategy to it. There is some of that pressure luck. I mean, there's aspects to where certain people might actually enjoy this game. And if you ask me really why I didn't like it, like, you're okay, well, you say you didn't find anything you liked about it, but I can't really say anything I didn't like it about it either. So it's kind of, I don't say it's a bad game. I'm just neutral towards it. Like, if people are like, hey, I really want to play this, I'll be like, all right, it's a short game. I can manage, right? But am I going to pull this out? I don't think I will. What's your take on it?
Well, I think I like that it's quick.
Mm-hmm.
I like that it's something, that's not going to take a lot of time to play. I like that. I do like the pressure luck thing. I don't generally like that kind of stuff, but I did like it here. I thought it made me think, how do I play my cards? So I started to try to think strategically. Now, the one thing I did just kind of realize as we've been sitting here is that you could actually go through the game and not get a full hand for poker. You could end up with just 4 cards.
You could.
And then you wouldn't be in the poker game at the end.
Well, yeah, you would. You would just have high card or a pair or 2 pair.
That's true.
You could end up with a 3 of a kind.
Yeah.
You could still get in.
Or 4 of a kind. But you can't. But you would have a harder time winning the hand.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and I was saying earlier about the horse and the mule and how I felt like the horses should be the only thing that gets you to the mountains. But I do like that when you were talking about them to me individually, you mentioned that it just kind of opens up more of the board for you by using them, and I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm not huge on big randomizers. This does have a lot of random elements in it.
It's a lot of. This is heavy luck. This is heavy luck.
So it's not like high on my list of games, but I think it's a medium game for me.
Yeah.
So, score-wise, we don't have a ranking of medium, so...
Well, medium to me would probably be around a 6.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
yeah.
What about you, Randy? Where were you at with this?
I'm trying to think. I'm probably 6.5 to 7 range. I liked it a little bit better. I like the fact that it is quick. If you said something earlier, if someone asked to play this, that you would say you would play it. If someone asked to play this, I would be surprised. This is not
Right.
a game you ask to play. This is a game that's like, oh, we need something quick to play. What's something we can play while we wait for other people to show up, whatever. This works fine for that. I think it's a good game. It's not great. But, it's something quick,
And you're right. But and the thing is everything's functional about it.
Yeah.
Like the game mechanics work. There's a lot of pieces to this that make a lot of sense. It is unique. There's some stuff in it that really does well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what about it is that just really kind of, I'm like, meh. It's very meh to me. I mean, I'm probably going to give this, I'll give it a 6 because there's some ingenuity with it. I like that, you can play it with the poker. You can also play it for the coin value. I do like some of the uniqueness thing. There is something there should be valued there. So I'll agree to a 6 on this because, I think there's elements in this that I wish just would have been more, right? Like, I'm like, this could have been more and I would have been okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not more, but it's all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We had a great time tonight, at the very least with the company that we had tonight. So hopefully we'll see you guys again. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.